Hi there. In this video, I'm going to make the apron pen pocket. Here I've already made 2 apron pen pockets, and what I'm going to end up doing is sewing them onto the upper left hand corner of the apron. I don't really need any more pockets except this one, and as you can see, this is just for my pens or markers or chalk or whatever. What I'm doing right now is I'm making one of these, and I'm still talking about aprons here, making aprons. And on the aprons that I've made, the 3 or 4 that I've made so far, I don't really like putting pockets on them because I find the pockets on my aprons go in an inconvenient place. But what I do need is like a pen pocket on, say, the upper left of the apron, like on my chest, my upper left chest. And that's just so I can put my pens or markers in there. And so this is what I made the other day. And when I started making this, I just took this bit of muslin and I was just playing around sewing. I had no intention of making a pen pocket to put on the apron. But as I played with it, and when I say play with it, I mean I just wanted to do some stitching, some sewing, just for the fun of it, just to do it, without really making anything. But as I got started playing around with it, I realized that, you know what, I should make a pen pocket out of it that I can install on the apron, the upper left chest of the apron. So what I've done here is I've cut a piece, and this is 4 inches wide by 10 inches long, and eventually it's going to be folded over like that, so it'll be more or less the same size as that. And then I've marked off 1/4 inch lines here, and then I'll fold the edges in, and then I'll end up with something similar to that, and then I'll sew it onto the apron. So that's where I'm starting having fun playing with my sewing dreams today, and I'm really looking forward to getting it all pinned up, and then I can get over to the sewing machine and, you know, do the seam allowances folds. Who knows, I may even iron it before I sew it, so that'll be fun too. So that's where I'm starting. Welcome aboard. So now what I've done is I found a new place to position my ironing board, and when I go down there and iron, I have a good lamp that gives me good light on the ironing board, and then I can also look out the balcony screen door towards MONT-ROYAL Park and Parc Jean-Mance and Park Ave, and enjoy that view and all the noise that makes while I'm ironing. So that's actually a better spot for the ironing board at that end of the room, because before I had it sort of in front of my sewing machines. So that was a little bit inconvenient. Not a big deal, but this is a lot better having it down at that end of the room. So now I'm just going to fold those over again and iron them in their final position. I also still have to do the folds on the sides, but right now I'm just doing the top and the bottom. There, I got some steam in there, so that should flatten it out and firm it up. And until I get it over to the sewing machine, I'll put a couple of clips on so it stays solid, stable. I'm going to fold that one over and iron that one, so I can iron those. I can sew those. Okay, I'm ready to start. Fair enough, that's that end done. Well, I missed a little bit on that thread. I let it loose. Oh well. Oh well, I gotta start again. Okay, let's try that again. Now I'm ready to start on the sides. Yikes, that was fast. So I folded it over like that, double sewed it down here, and now I'm going to sew the sides. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to zigzag stitch down here and then another one over here, maybe like right about there. So then I'll have like individual pencil pen slots. So it's on zigzag. If you try to sew with the presser foot up, it can cause issues. If I'm fortunate, I do not have to remove the throat plate to go down and dig for the thread that got all knotted up under the feed dogs. Quite often, if I'm lucky, if I'm fortunate, I catch it before I sew too much with the presser foot up, and all I have to do is remove the cloth and I can actually pull the thread out entirely without having it break or snap. Because if that happens, then I have to take the throat plate off, clear it, and then start over again. So this time I did forget to put the presser foot down, but I only stitched maybe 2 or 3 stitches, so I did not have to remove the throat plate. I was able to remove the cloth and pull that extra black thread out without having to take the throat plate off. Anyway, that's my story. And here I'm going to zigzag. Now I know the argument is that when you're zigzagging you don't necessarily need to backstitch to lock it up, but I'm just going to do a little bit of a straight stitch, probably all the way down, just to lock it up anyway. But I'll start with locking it up right at this end. There. Good enough. So there, that's what I'm working with now, and I want to show you that I've probably made this a little too short. You know, if I look at my original piece, the caps on the pens are able to go right down to there, and this one is a little shorter. I kind of messed up. But the pen will still sit in there and it won't fall out. So I'm still going to go ahead and this is an experiment anyway. I can use it or not use it as I see fit. The other thing I've done is I've made a couple of marks with red pen, and that's where my next 2 rows of zigzagging is going to go. So I'll get started on that. So that's how this little project turned out. So I'm going to stitch the pocket onto the apron. So I have the pocket sewed on, but what I did was I just sewed it at this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, and the rest of it is open at the back if I wanted to slide something else in there, like maybe some cloth or a ruler, a small, I don't know, measuring device or something. But I could have stitched it all down and, you know, on all three sides completely, but I thought that would be a little more useful to me, having that extra bit of storage space behind the pen pocket. So that's what I did.